In the unforgiving arena of mixed martial arts, we find fighters who personify the ancient sins. Today, we delve deep into the world of the UFC, exploring how its warriors represent the 7 deadly sins.
I hate you. I hate you.
And now Khabib jumps the fence. Whoa! No! And he's going right at Dylan Dennis.
UFC fighter Tony Ferguson under arrest after a rollover crash in Hollywood early this morning.
Everybody, I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champion. Your wife is in me DMs. Hey, baby, hit me back on one shot. You later. No man that beats off the cartoons is gonna beat me.
Let's begin with pride, the excessive belief in one's abilities. Throughout history, we've seen figures like Alexander the Great fall victim to its allure. In the UFC, one name stands out as the embodiment of pride: Conor McGregor. From a plumber to a global superstar, McGregor's pride propelled him to heights few could fathom. His confidence, the key to his success, allowed him to predict victory, hypnotize opponents, and trash talk his way to glory. Recall the legendary bout with Jose Aldo. McGregor's relentless trash talk got inside Aldo's head, leading to a swift 13-second victory. After conquering the featherweight division, McGregor's pride drove him to the lightweight title, which led him to challenging the lightweight champion at the time, Eddie Alvarez. In the build-up to this historic fight, McGregor showcased his pride through bold proclamations about becoming the first fighter in UFC history to hold 2 titles simultaneously in different weight classes.
When Jose Aldo's chin hits the floor and forward, who exactly are you going to go up and take the belt from at 155? Whoever has it.
McGregor's pride-driven ambition to make history fueled his preparation for the fight. He moved up to lightweight to face Eddie Alvarez for the lightweight championship, and he demonstrated his striking superiority throughout the bout. Conor is on top of the world. He became the first fighter to hold championships in 2 weight classes simultaneously. He has finally reached the top of the mountain. The only place he can go now is down.
Back where you fucking started, Wagey. Someone has to fucking flip the burgers, dumbass.
Pride led McGregor to a boxing match against Floyd Mayweather and lost. Training for Mayweather caused him to abandon his iconic karate-like stance he used in MMA. This shift paved the way for his loss to Khabib Nurmagomedov in his return to the cage.
I don't know, man. I just want to get in and just, get back into a bounce, and especially against that style of fighter, and not take those kicks. You know what I mean? Don't play with those kicks. And although I don't know, it's just a motherfucker to take, man. That's me mind's going. So,
in a twist of fate, McGregor's hubris came back to haunt him. Losses to Dustin Poirier, one after a less prideful approach, and another with a devastating leg break, shattered his aura. Today, with wealth, yachts, and alcoholism, McGregor seems a far cry from the hungry plumber chasing gold. A return to the UFC seems unlikely, as he struggles to re-enter the USADA testing pool after his leg injuries.
But fuck it. And that gold belt was around my waist. And my mother has a big mansion. My girlfriend has a different car for every day of the week. And my kids have everything they ever want. Then it will pay. Then I'm happy I lost my mind. Yeah? I'll die a crazy old man.
Moving on to wrath, the fiery emotion that fuels aggression. In the UFC, no one embodied wrath better than Tony El Cucuy Ferguson. The name El Cucuy comes from the Mexican folklore of the boogeyman. According to legend, El Cucuy is described as a frightening creature, small, misshapen, and hairy all over. Among the other distinctive physical characteristics, El Cucuy is said to have large bat-like ears, red eyes that glow in the dark, and a set of large, razor-sharp teeth that can remind you of the barracuda fish. The urban legend states that El Kirkui attacks and abducts children who do not display exemplary behavior. He can, reportedly, hide under the beds or inside the closets of children for long periods of time, emerge suddenly when they are asleep in the dead of night. With a nickname derived from being the lightweight division's boogeyman, Tony rose to glory in the UFC by leaving a trail of battered opponents in his wake, while brandishing his unorthodox fighting style and autistic personality.
This is a rat race, but I'm no rat. I'm a fucking turtle. Ninja turtle. So which one's your favorite? I like Michelangelo.
During his 12-fight win streak, Tony Ferguson was an unstoppable force in the lightweight division. His unique fighting style, including relentless pressure, unorthodox striking, and submissions, earned him the nickname El Kirkui, the Boogeyman. Fighters feared him for his unpredictability and ability to finish fights in various ways. His eccentric training methods, like kicking metal poles, exemplified his wrath and fueled his ferocity inside the cage.
No blood. And shit.
Yet, wrath outside the octagon led Ferguson to dark places. Paranoid and manic, he lost control, even calling his wife a witch, leading to a police intervention.
Yeah, it's my husband.
What's
so that's
his
what I'm
name?
saying. I just want to let you guys know he's a professional fighter because, one, I don't want no cop to get injured or anything.
we don't.
If you just send one.
No, we don't want anyone to get hurt. What's your husband's name?
Tony Ferguson.
You guys have no idea. When you're hurt, how do you feel? You lay down, right? You take a second. You go, you take your vitamins, you do your thing. When I'm hurt, I love it. I love that feeling because it's real. That's the most realest feeling that you could ever have, is being in pain, because everything else, happiness could be fake, crying could be fake, but pain? Shit. That's real.
As his wrath continues to spill into his fights, the one thing that no fighter could escape had finally caught up to Tony. Father Time. In his fight against Justin Gaethje, an obsession with thigh punches resulted in excessive punishment, permanently altering his fighting abilities. Subsequent losses to notably Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira, and Beneil Dariush, a 6-fight losing streak, showed that Tony was no longer in his prime. Tony Ferguson's stubbornness and insistence on fighting far past his prime may only lead him down a tragic path of further self-destruction.
I want to be real with you guys. It's always been cool. And then I feel at this point in time in my life, I'm just barely hitting my prime.
People, I know what'll make us feel better. Let us sing the NAAFP anthem.
Gluttony, the sin of excessive consumption, is represented by Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Paddy's viral fame came partly from his strong social media presence, which often shows him indulging in food.
Like 7 months can I go?
Memes online called him Paddy the Fatty due to his extreme weight fluctuations between fights. If Paddy Pimblett doesn't manage his diet between fights and continues to gain weight while engaging in extreme weight cutting, he could face health risks, reduced performance, and negative impact on his longevity as a fighter.
His arms look like pillows with cake mix inside.
Envy, the sin of coveting what others have, is mirrored in Max Holloway's career. Max, one of the UFC's youngest signees, learned striking from the UFC video game, emulating his idols.
The UFC game, I would use Renan Barão and Jose Aldo, and I would do stuff with them. I'd be like, oh yeah, this works in the game. So my friend at the time, Dustin Kimura, he would kind of hold mitts for me, and I'd be like, look, I tried this in the game and it was working, let's try it. And we did it. I figured it out from the first ever UFC game.
What?
Yeah, but Renan Barão.
You would watch the video game?
I would play the video game and be like, oh, look at this. I would try combination. I'd be like, oh yeah, this kind of works, so let's try it.
Over his career, Max has shown dominance over the featherweight division like no other, having countless victories over the top contenders of the featherweight division and earning UFC gold.
First, real takedown. Incredible.
Despite his brilliance, Holloway carries the shadow of envy cast upon him, with unavenged losses to Conor McGregor and Alexander Volkanovski. Max Holloway may be one of the best fighters on earth, but his unavenged losses might forever haunt his legacy as his rivals have moved on.
I think that Volkanovski is so dominant right now. I mean, there's people who believe he beat, Islam. I don't know if you throw Max at him again at this point in Max's career.
Representing Sloth is Derek Lewis, whose knockout power and laid-back style have earned him this sin. Derek Lewis has a reputation for a laid-back and easygoing personality.
Can I get a recommendation on where to find the best barbecue in Houston?
That's racist, but
Often joking about his love for fried chicken.
Hey, come on, man. We can't move on.
And his preference for resting over intensive training.
Oh, so you don't run at all?
No.
So what do you do for endurance work?
I do Stairmaster. We do elliptical bike and stuff like that. I don't run. I haven't ran in years. Really.
Do you not run because you don't like it, or do you not run because of your joints?
I just don't like it. It's boring. I mean, really, it's boring.
His fighting style is characterized by explosive power that seems to emerge from nowhere, reflecting a slothful appearance before striking suddenly. Lewis's one-punch knockout prowess often disguises his seemingly slow approach to fighting. Lewis relies on his one-punch knockout power and often appears lethargic before delivering a fight-ending blow. His style is emblematic of Sloth in the octagon.
Why'd you take your pants off?
My balls was hot.
I understand.
Finally, Vainglory, marked by excessive vanity, finds its host in Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya is a fighter known for his striking beauty, both in physique and fighting style. His flashy entrances and elaborate costumes highlight his vanity. Adesanya often takes pride in his aesthetic appeal, even incorporating elements of fashion and style into his persona. Adesanya's flashy persona and unique style have often been associated with vanity. While he hasn't openly identified as gay, his androgynous appearance and the colorful way he expresses himself have contributed to his unique brand.
Ariel, you saw what I did this weekend, right? You know what confidence is?
Yeah.
You know what confidence is? My confidence, they get my fucking confidence. They get your fucking nuts out my mouth, bro. Shit. Oh, I said that the wrong way. Fuck. Really.
Early in his career, Adesanya's choice to represent China in the sport might be seen as a vanity-driven decision to tap into a larger market. His fascination with Chinese culture and aesthetics, showcased in his walkouts and attire, aimed to create a distinct image that set him apart from other fighters.
I knocked this guy out. Okay. He disrespected our country. He disrespected our Chinese country. I knocked him out, Sifu, huh? I knocked him out. In the name of China.
His meticulous attention to detail and fight preparation, including tailor-made fight shorts and elaborate walkout rituals, reflects his vanity and desire to be seen as a true showman. This can be shown from Adesanya's flamboyance, from his anime-inspired stances to painted nails. His persona stems from his vanity and desire to stand out from the other fighters. However, vanity can be a double-edged sword. Adesanya's concern for public opinion, as seen in his rivalry with Sean Strickland, could become a detriment. Strickland's mockery of his persona reveals the fragility of vanity, as it can let others get into his head.
A lot of this shit is not true, like, you know, like maybe the steroids aren't true, but the jerking off the cartoons is true, so it's like...
And that's facts.
Oh, this guy, bro, this guy.
In conclusion, the UFC's fighters are not just warriors, but reflections of our human flaws. As we celebrate their triumphs, we must also acknowledge the tragedies and lessons they offer. As these fighters grapple with the 7 deadly sins, we can only hope they find redemption and a path to self-improvement, both inside and outside the cage.